Hey guys, today we want to talk about the cool reality of the Philippines. And there's something really, really cool about the Philippines, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Although some people are saying that it's getting more expensive in the Philippines, it's getting way more expensive in the US. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And it's a reality that's worth talking about because I'm getting tons of calls every night for people trying to get the SRRVs and asking me visa questions, asking me what it costs really to live here. Is it really that cheap, Steve? And there are cheaper places to live, but the Philippines is kind of a cool place because you get the best of both worlds. You get beautiful women here, nice people, and you get a really cheap living here. Now, it's not as cheap as it used to be, but I'm going to start out here and I'm going to start explaining to you just how great it can be. Now, granted, you in the United States, if you were on $2,000 a month in Massachusetts, that's your apartment money right there. That's going to get you a studio around the Boston area. That's it. There's no more money left over. So where do you go from there? Well, if you're in the Philippines, guess what? $80 a month, $100 a month is going to get you a one bedroom, not a studio, a one bedroom. But around the Boston area, you're going to get a one bedroom or a studio, and that's it. Over here for $200, you might get a two bedroom. You might even be able to find a three bedroom in some areas for cheap money. And here's the other thing is that over here, your food money goes a little bit longer if you eat Filipino. If you eat Filipino food and your girlfriend cooks for you and stuff like that, cooking you lumpia, cooking you, pork chops, things like that. Some things are cheaper over here, like some meats are cheaper over here. Steaks in some places are cheaper over here. A lot of things are cheaper over here when you compare it to the United States. I've had people tell me what they're paying for prices over there for steaks, pork, eggs, and stuff like that. And it's way cheaper over here than it is back there. Your money goes a lot further. The second you get off the plane over here and you go to exchange your money, you come out with a bundle like this thick, depending on how much you're exchanging. But it makes you feel like a one-day millionaire. And over here, the money really does go further because you walk in to get a haircut the next day so you can look good for your girl that you're going to meet in a few days down in the provinces or whatever when you fly here. Or maybe you just want to look good just because you want to be single over here. So there's guys over here that like to stay single and they don't want to have a girlfriend. That's okay too. But they go to get a haircut. They pay 100 pesos for a haircut. Another 100 pesos to get a shave or less. A shave and get their beard trimmed or what have you. And you also might even get a massage on your shoulders or whatever for a few seconds. And where can you get that in the United States for cheap money? You can't. You cannot. You're going to pay anywhere between $12 to $20 for a haircut back in the States in most areas. And over here, you're going to pay a couple bucks. $2 is more than 100 pesos. It's like 57 or 58 pesos to the dollar at this moment right now. I was in the bank this morning. I think it was 57.15 or something like that. 57.15 to every dollar. That's a good rate. When you come over here also, you start noticing people start paying attention to you more. Number one, because you're American. Number two, because a lot of the girls like Americans over here. Some of them it's about the money, some of them it's about the guy, and some of it's about the mystique. It's those three things. Be careful the ones that are just about the money, because that can be your worst nightmare over here. But here's the other thing. Buying furniture. One thing I found out over here is I bought a sofa over here. It's not a bad sofa. It's not the most well-made sofa, but it's a comfortable sofa. I liked it. I paid less than 200. I think it was. No, wait. I take that back. I think I paid about $200 or $300 for it, somewhere around there. That's a great deal for a sofa. I was like, man, that's a phenomenal deal. I forget the exact price, but it was very, very low. I bought a bunch of stuff for my house to fix it up and stuff like that. The bed, the kitchen table, I had it handcrafted by Romnick up here. Cheap money for what you pay at any furniture store back in the US. Comparison shopping, you're paying less than 50% for most decent furniture over here. And some of it, you can get it handcrafted, and the way you want, the way you like it. It's beautiful. You can have it made, the custom made furniture. Can you get that back in the US? You can't even find that in the US unless you're going to pay a real, high price for that. You're going to pay an exorbitant amount of money for something like that in the US. Is it going to be as fancy as United States stuff? Probably not. But it's going to last you the rest of your life over here. My kitchen table, I'll never get rid of that, because you know what? It'll never ever wear out. That's the thing. It's made to last. It's built to last out of beautiful wood, and it's built from scrap wood too. And they sand it all down, and they rehab that. They bring it back, that wood back to life, and it has a second purpose again. And it's great because they're recycling that stuff. Some of it is made out of old pallets and stuff like that. And my bed is made from old pieces of scrap wood, and my bed looks probably better than a lot of people's beds back in the US. Think about that for a second. And I notice when I go places and I buy things, and if I call people back in the States and ask them, hey, how much do you guys pay for this, or how much do you guys pay for that, it's usually double from what I'm paying over here. But when you think about it, like, you go for a massage, I can get a massage an hour and a half long over here for like 500 pesos. That's $10. Back in the United States, and this is going back 6-7 years ago, I was paying $90 for an hour massage back in the US. $90 is a lot of money. Over here, I can pay $10 and get an hour and a half. You can get a king and queen massage over here for an hour each, I believe it is, for like 600 pesos at some of the places around here. Now, these prices are up and down depending on where you are in the Philippines. King and queen means you can walk in there with your girlfriend or your wife or what have you, and both of you can get a massage for an hour. Tell me where you can get that back in the United States for right around $10. That's pretty good. You can walk into McDonald's over here. Back home, you're going to walk into McDonald's, you're going to order a Big Mac meal over there, and you're going to pay close to $8 to $14, depending on where you live in the United States and stuff. Over here, it's 207 pesos at the local McDonald's here. That's a little around, that's close to $4. Okay, that's here. It's 207 for a Big Mac meal over here. French fries, Coke, Big Mac. Bargain price deals. You're gonna go to Shakey's Pizza places, American places, you're gonna pay a little bit more. Pizzas, they can be a little bit more expensive, but back in the United States, from what you guys are paying back there and what we pay over here, we're still about 25 to 30% cheaper on the pizzas. I walk into Subway, their subs, I think you guys are paying, I don't know what you guys are paying back home, but over here for like, I think it's like a little bit over $4, we get a foot-long sub, at Subway over here, and you get all the fixings on it and all that stuff, and you get a Coke, you get a meal deal for, a buck or two more or something like that, and you get a Coke and 2 cookies out of it. We have an all-you-can-eat steakhouse. It's about $14, I think, for all the steak you can eat. Okay, at Prime Steakhouse over here. We don't have all-you-can-eat steakhouses in the United States. I think if you went to a steakhouse and told them you wanted to get all-you-can-eat, they'd probably charge you $50 or $60 for that, at least. If any steak places would even offer that, they'd probably, they'd charge you a lot more. There are places here where you can sit down in Filipino restaurants and eat Filipino food for as little as a couple of bucks for street food. I could sit down and have a plate of rice, chicken, and some vegetables, probably for like, $2 or less in some places, depending on where you are. I'm not a person that eats street food, I'll be honest with you. And my electric bill is probably about the same as what it would be back in the United States, probably a little bit cheaper. I remember when I was living in the Boston area, my electric bill when we had the AC going was usually over $100. Here I'm paying right around $100, so it's not that bad. But anyway, guys, I just want to say that for you guys, so you guys can have an understanding of what's going on over here and how cheap it really is. The reality of the Philippines is way better than the reality of the US, where your dollar doesn't carry that far. God bless, guys. Take care. I hope you enjoyed today's show.